Came here with a heavy heart. Somehow, in another, I wonder, is my friend gone? Because I've known Chris since the 90s. Besides that, I worked with him more closely in 2003 during the first Kibaki's visit to the US. And having been in foreign service, he's been a friend of mine since then. I've served in France, in Spain, in South America, and every place I went, he's at least come and visited me. The most memorable for me was during the World Cup, when he came to Rio, and we had a great time. We had a great time because he made it so much easier for me as a salesman of Kenya to sell the country. He believed in this country. He loved Kenya. And for sure, all of us who knew him know very well that any place you went and Kenya needed to sell itself, if he was there, Kenya was rightfully sold. I remember the day we came to the restaurant at Two Rivers as we opened the restaurant, and he just kept saying, you know what, this country will get where it needs to be. Every time I have been anywhere with Chris, it's always been encouragement. This for the country, this for Kenya, this for the young people. He was a man who believed in transformation. He believed in change, and he believed in people. At least I can stand here and say, I know he believed in me. One little story in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And at that time we was building, and he told me, look, I want to buy some floor for the house in Kenya. And we went shopping. And I'll tell you, I learned so much from just that trip, because the way he was able to negotiate, the way he was able to explain his interest, the way he was able to clear the terms so that everyone understands what needs to be done. I hoped in my life that I would grow as he did, to be able to stand that clear when you're talking to people, even in general terms. He was a man full of happiness. He was full of joy. And all I can say is he was a champion for our country. While I know I'll miss him, I'm sure you, Marianne and Robert and Andrew and others, will miss him even much more. We are all here, as we've heard from the CS and also the Senator, and I believe others here. Everyone is here, not invited, but by choice, because your father meant so very much to all of us. May God bless you all, and may his soul rest in eternal peace. We'll be here with you.
Thank you, Ambassador, for your kind words. Now, next, I think we're going to move to tributes that will be communicated to you from 3 different companies that our chairman was very passionate about. We are going to start with the International House, and I would love to ask our representatives from these companies, we know you can be here forever, but limit the time so that others have time to be able to share. Thank you very much. International House? Thank you, Carol. The floor is yours.
Good evening. My name is Carol Mushiri, and I work at International House Limited. Marianne, Robert, him and your spouses and your children, extended family, esteemed guests, clergy, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, good evening. As I said, I work at International House Limited. For all those who are familiar with Chairman, International House is like his kitchen. We are like his family. We are the people who, that was his base. So this loss, Marianne, is as much your loss as it is ours. We have felt his absence. We have walked with him through the illness. We have seen the visitors decline. We have seen the calls come to a stop, because that's where he used to operate from. So for us, as we condole with the family, we're also condoling with ourselves. I have served the chairman since 2000, about 14 years. I work as a HR. I'm in charge of human capital. At the same time, I worked as his executive assistant, helping in collaboration with both Beverly and Aisha. You're also aware that he was the Honorary Consul General for Mauritius and Kenya. So we've been assisting him as well with his consular duties. I am honored and I'm humbled to stand before you today. But before I proceed, I'd like to ask my colleagues, International House people, wherever you are, please, if you can stand and wave, if we can see you. Thank you, thank you. As I said, I have worked with him for many years. We have had many highs. We have had many lows. Some of them have been just big. About 2000, anyway, big. We have had local condemnation. We have had international recognition. We have had, ambassadors that he has worked with, presidents that have consulted him. It's been a journey, and it's been our joy to work with Chairman. My role is to just share my personal experience today. But also, I feel I cannot adequately represent a picture of who he was to us. So I want to request 3 of my colleagues to come on board and give a small, brief experience of who they are. The first person, please, as I call your name, come up. The first person is Monaisha Hussein. Monaisha is his executive secretary. Isha, as we fondly call her, has worked with the chairman for 38 years. 38 years, which is pretty much all her adult life. For us, she signifies the beginning of his entrepreneurship journey. She was there when he started his company, when they first started a small office. She has seen him succeed and fail in many businesses, but overall, she has seen him grow through leaps and bounds. They have experienced, and each of them has grown personally, professionally, but they had an experience that was similar and a synergy in growth and development. Isha, please come on.
Assalamu alaikum. Jina langu ni Mwanaisha, naitwa Aisha. Bosi wangu alikuwa akipenda kuniita Isha. Yaani unajua kufupisha mambo. Leo tuko hapa kwa sababu yake. Kwanza, kabla sijaanza, natoa heshima zangu za dhati kwa mlioko hapa kwa wakati wenu. Tuko na watu mashuhuri hapa. Kwanza, kabla sijaendelea, Robert, Marianne, Andrew, watoto wetu, vijukuu vetu, Mara, Gina, Christopher, Andrew, Daniel, poleni sana. Leo wageni wetu mashuhuri mlioko hapa, kwanza natambua wachungaji wetu kwa wakati wenu, maombi yenu, Mwenyezi Mungu ayapokee. Tunashukuru sana kuja kujumuika na familia. Kuna mawaziri hapa wetu, kuna masenators na watu wengi mashuhuri, kuna wakurugenzi wa makampuni zetu ambao wako hapa na waheshimu, na natoa heshima zangu za dhati kwenu. Mwenyezi Mungu awabariki nyote kwa jumla. Kwa kifupi, sitachukua muda, bali mimi nilianza na Bwana Kirubi mwaka wa 1983 nikiwa na umri mdogo, sijaolewa, sijapata watoto, nilikuwa nimetoka college. Wakati huo niliitwa kwa interview na rafiki yake ambaye alikuwa pia katika shughuli za biashara zake. Tukaja kwa interview na baadhi ya wengine wenzangu. Kama vile Mungu alivyopenda, alivyokadiria, Bwana Kirubi akanichagua kuwa nimtumikie. Na namshukuru Mwenyezi Mungu kwa kunipa wakati huu kumtumikia. Pili, sitachukua muda. Tulipoanza na yeye Bwana Kirubi, tulikuwa watu wadogo, ofisi yetu ilikuwa ndogo, wafanyikazi tulikuwa 3. Yeye bosi yetu, Bwana Kirubi, na messenger wetu mmoja. Tulikuwa na ofisi ndogo, lakini kama ukiingia ofisi yetu ni kama umeingia nyumbani kwake. Ofisi ambayo ilikuwa imepambwa vizuri, si furniture, si mazulia, sina haja ya kutaja mengi, ijazieni wenyewe. Namna alivyokuwa akijiweka na akituweka na sisi. Tunashukuru kwa yote. Hapo tukianza ilikuwa nyumba hiyo ya International House. Ilikuwa sisi ni wapangaji. Bwana Kirubi, hapo tulikuwa tukifanya kazi yetu, hatukuwa hivi tulivyokuwa. Mimi nilipopawa appointment letter yangu, sikuandikwa kazi na International House Limited. Mimi niliandikwa kazi na Kiruma International Company Limited. Kampani hiyo ilikuwa yake mwenyewe binafsi. Hapo baadaye mwaka wa 85 ndipo tukawa si wapangaji wa nyumba tena, ni wenyewe. Nikiwatolea hadithi ndogo, kuna siku nyumba ilikuwa ikimilikiwa na wazungu British. Siku hiyo wakatupigia simu, Aisha, hamujalipa nyinyi. Kashtuka, hatujalipa, najua, lakini lazima, yetu ni yetu. Tutalipa hata kama tutachelewa. Bosi yetu yuko chini, kulikuwa na restaurants mezzanine floor ikiitwa Marino. Ameenda kunywa kahawa na wageni wake wa biashara. Wakati huo hakukuwa na mobiles. Itabidi tusubiri bosi yetu arudi. Mimi namwambia mkuha, tutafanyaje? Tukasema wacha tusubiri, hawatatufungia. Basi bosi alipokuja, majua akija, atakiwa kule, utamsikia mwenyewe yuaje. Kifungua mlango, Isha ni nini? Namwambia hapa tumepigiwa simu, tuambiwa tutazimia taa. Watazima taa ya nani? Sisi siku moja tutamiliki hii nyumba. Nikamwangalia, nikasema tutamiliki nyumba? Ndio. Hapo sasa nikarudi nyuma. Kumbe yale anayoyasema huyu mtu ni mipango yako kwenye njia, na dua yake Mwenyezi Mungu akamuitikilia, ambapo ilipofika Septemba mwaka 85 hatukuwa wapangaji tena International House. Nyumba ilikuwa ikiitwa Queensway Development Corporation. Tulipochukua tukaita International House, na company iliyoundwa ikaitwa International House Limited. Basi safari ilitoka hapo. Sina haja ya kuambia mengi. Wafanyikazi walikuwa 3. Leo sina hesabu yao. Company ilikuwa 1, Kiruma International Company. Sina hesabu ya kuambia company ni ngapi. Sina hesabu, yani sitasema mengi. Dhahabu ni dhahabu. Huna haja ya kuambiwa hii dhahabu. Nyinyi wenyewe jionee. Bwana huyu, Mungu amweke, Mungu amjalie kila la kheri. Alikuwa mtu mkakamavu, mtu mwenye kupenda kazi, haogopi wasaa mwingi wa kufanya kazi. Akituambia mimi na mwenzangu Beverly turudi tufanye kazi, na akitutuliza hii ifanywe, hii ifanywe, hii ifanywe, ndio tutoke. Tukakubali, tukamuitikia, tukaendeleza na tumefanya leo. Kwa hivyo kazi ngumu haiui. Tufanyeni kazi. Bwana huyu, hapa kuna mawaziri katika serikali yetu tukufu, na nashukuru anamtambua kwa juhudi zake. Ametuchangia uchumi wetu kwa hakika. Ametupa makazi, familia zetu, watoto wetu. Kwa hivyo shukrani kubwa kwake. Shukrani kubwa kwake sana. Alikuwa ni mtu wa maana. Hata ile sauti yake mkimuona ni ukali, si ukali, bali ni mafunzo. Amenifunza mengi, amenilea, nimemlea, ametuelekeza, ametupenda na ametuongoza. Kwa hivyo sasa hapa naposimama mimi na Beverly, hata mkitupa kazi State House sisi tutaiendesha. Na hatutaiangusha. Hatutaiangusha kabisa kabisa. Hatutaiangusha. Kwa wakati huu mfupi sina mengi, bali natoka kutoa rambirambi zangu za dhati kwa watoto wake, wajukuu zake na familia yake, kaka zake, dadake. Wallahi na wapapoli kutoka kwa roho yangu. Nimewajua na nimewatambua na nimewaheshimu sana. Mwenyezi Mungu awape nguvu wakati huu wa msiba. Lakini kumbukeni, si msiba wenu, msiba wetu. Sisi watu wa International House, ukitoka ofisi yake Aisha Beverly, alafu kwingine. Kwa hivyo kilio ni chetu, na hatutalia leo tu, tutalia siku zote. Tukiswali, tumesimama mausiku kumwombea. Tumemwombea usiku na mchana. Tulikuwa kila siku tunakaa, tunajua atakuja kwa ofisi yake, lakini mapenzi ya Mungu tumeyakubali. Lilikuwa sijakubali kuwa haya yametokea, lakini sasa nimekubali, na namwombea Mungu njia yake iwe rahisi, akakae pahali pema, na sisi alotuacha katika makazi yake, makampuni yake, jamanini, endelezeni, kwa sababu kuendelea huku ndiko yeye alipo atatufurahia. Vile vile alivyokuwa, vile vile kuendelea kwa heshima yake. Kwa hivyo sina mengi kwa sasa, bali chairman wetu Dr. Kirubi, Mwenyezi Mungu ampe hatua njema, akamweke pahali pema. Tumekufurahikia wakati huu tumekufanyia kazi. Najivunia wallahi, najivunia, sio ati kusema tu, na najivunia kwa watoto wake, watoto wazuri, watoto watiifu, wana heshima. Robert, Marianne, Andrew, Mwenyezi Mungu awape subra na awajalie mema, yani baba yenu huko aliko ajue amewacha watu na mambo yanaendelea. Sasa kuko hivi, ningependa kuona kuwe hivi. Kusianguke, afurahi alipo. Mwenyezi Mungu atubariki sote tuliohudhuria hapa, atupe na sisi njia ya kuishi, tufanye kama yeye alivyofanya. Mwenyezi Mungu atujalie sisi kila la kheri na tuwe na amani na upendo. Serikali yetu itue na amani, tusiwe na misukosuko, maradhi na pia yatuondokee. Asanteni.
Thank you, Aisha. The next person I will call upon is called David Thuo. David Thuo is a security supervisor. He has worked with chairman from company to company, and he will give us a brief history of who he is and what he has done. Thuo, I don't see you, but please come. So as I was talking about David Thuo, he started as a guard. As you're aware, International House has its own security side with a big staff complement. Thereafter, he became a foreman and later became a supervisor. He exemplifies how chairman grows with his staff, how he's able to groom you from one company to the next, how if you're a good worker, he will even move with you from one company to the next. Mr. Thuo has managed to educate his children while on the job, but he can tell his story better. But since I don't see him, Thuo, I don't know. He was aware that he was supposed to come and speak. In the meantime, I think I will go on to the third person because I don't see him. The third person on our list was our head of finance. Her name is Mercy Mwangi. If you have interacted with the chairman, you will have probably in financial matters, you will probably have interacted with Mercy. She has also worked for chairman for a long time, 32 years. As you will hear from her story, she has a rich repertoire of experience advising him, working with him, through many of his companies, engaging a lot of proposals. Mercy, welcome.
Okay, Miriam, Robert, Andrew, your children, the clergy, all protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Mercy, and it looks like just the other day when I met the chairman over 3 decades ago. I had just finished college, and I was working as an intern in one of the big 4 professional firms. And a friend of mine called me and asked me, Mercy, do you want to join the commercial sector? And I told her, of course. Sooner or later, she had organized an interview for me to meet the chairman. And I'll confess, I was quite intimidated because I had never been to an office like his. But after a few minutes of talking, he made me comfortable, and we started discussing the possibilities of my joining him. He asked me several questions, and I remember one of the questions he asked me was, what do your parents do? By then, my father had just retired and had gone back to the village, and they were farming, so I told him, they farm. So he told me, yes, even me, I am a farmer, but a different kind of farmer. I farm companies. Within a week, I had started working for the chairman. I had joined this farmer who farms companies. It's been an exciting many years working with the farmer, supporting him. I have been supporting him in money matters, And we have germinated, planted, and nurtured many companies. And as soon as each was able to stand on its own, we would move to the next. There has never been a down moment at the workplace. Those who are here yesterday, you heard the leaders he's created because he trusted his businesses with the youth. They were all young people. Now they are a bit mature. But he would always hand over to the youth, and they've grown the businesses, and that's where we are today. Having worked for him for all these many years, which he had a very high sense of humor. He would say, worked for donkey years. So having worked for him for donkey years, I have learned a lot of things from him. And I'll just state two due to time. Lesson number one is I've learned that hard work pays. I've never met such a hard-working person like the chairman. In the early days, he would work and work. We would leave him in the office in the evening as we went home. He would go through each and every paper. He is very thorough. He was very thorough and very meticulous. He taught us that culture of hard working. None of us in our office jokes about with work. I've heard the media saying about his Midas touch. I believe he's been very successful because he worked hard. He gave his all in whatever he did. Tonight, for those who are here, particularly the younger people, let's emulate him and work hard so that we can be as successful as he was. Issue number two I learned from the chairman is being kind and caring. Most of you may not know that side of him because you've not interacted with him on a day-to-day basis. But our chairman was very caring. He cared about the world. No wonder he came up with those innovations he came up with to address the humanity. He cared about Africa. Last night, one of our companies stated how he's been pushing them to have footsteps in each country in Africa. He cared about Kenya. He did not need to invest in businesses. He's shrewd. He could have put his money, like all other wealthy people do, in less risky investments because he knew them. But instead, he decided to invest in businesses and help our country grow economically. The chairman loved Kenyans. In his businesses, he's employed so many of us. He has helped so many of us meet our needs, help our people from wherever we come from. And that was because of his care. He used to say he likes to employ as many people as he could. The chairman loved his employees. He cared for them very deeply. As the money person, there are times, even those employees not in now International House, he would call me and tell me, so-and-so has this problem. Organize for funds. They have a sick father in hospital. Call them, let them know where you'll pay this bill. The chairman cared for each one of us and reached out to each one of us. We have many examples. I remember once, one of our colleagues had qualified to join a school they loved, but they missed out. And they shared this information with the chairman. And he took a phone. He was ready to use his contacts to help us. So that particular day, he took the phone and called the principal of that school, and that child was admitted to her school of choice. So that is the chairman we knew. He had a soft spot for the youth. I've seen us invest a lot of money in youth. There was a particular young lady I keep remembering who was making a movie. And the investment was quite hefty. And he put in that money to help this youth. He had a soft spot also for the widows and their children. Over these years, Devontae, we had such issues in the office. And he would always call me and ask me, Mase, how do we help this lady and her children? The chairman reached out to all of us. A few years ago, my world was collapsing. He called me and told me, I know it is hard, but keep strong, this thing will pass. So family members, tonight, I want to bring my personal condolences to you, and on behalf of the staff of International House, the staff of the Liu Farmers, Beddoe Estates, because later in the years we got into farming, and use the same words he's been using to us. I'm sure it is not only me he's reached out to, and tell you, we know you are hurting. We know you are in pain, but this pain will ease. And with time, all will be well. And to our dear chairman, may God rest your soul in eternal peace.
Please allow us indulge us and let Mr. Thuo, who is our security supervisor, just say a few words. Bwana Thuo, please come and keep it short, if you will.
Okay. Thank you, Madam. Habari zenu jioni ya leo. My name is David Thuo Duati, and I may not have word to say in front of you about this man, Dr. Chris Kirubi. I have known Mr. Kirubi for a long period. I've been with him since 1993. At that time, I was selling paint for King's International. I was based at Ongata Rugai. Then after that, I joined International House in Security Department. And for sure, I can say all that I have, all who I am, is about this man. So when I say I don't have words to say, I know Mr. Kirubi means a lot to me. There was a name he used to call me, you Kyuk, you Kyuk. That's how he used to refer me. Because he could tell me, you man, you are a gentleman, you are brave, you are a courageous person. For sure, I can say Mr. Kirubi means everything to me. As I have said, all that I have, because I joined him when I was still very young. I can say I was young by then, and now I'm an old man. I'm almost retiring. Having worked with him for the last 28 years, he have molded my life. He used to encourage us, especially when we could have the end of the year party. He could tell us, don't spend everything that you are being given. Save a retro. Use a retro, save a retro for tomorrow. And for sure, when we ran that, I can tell you, we joined a cooperative that was there. He was encouraging us to join cooperative because he was telling us no money is ever enough. So unless you become a saver, unless you know how to save, there's no way you could grow. He could tell us, he was encouraging us, educate your children. Don't ever despise what you are. Just appreciate what I'm giving you, save what you are getting, and educate your children so that they will not do what you are doing. And out of that, I can say I learned something that I'm determined to continue encouraging my children to study hard so that they cannot do what I'm doing. Not that what I'm doing is wrong. It's good because what I have, I've gotten out of this job. So I can tell you, really, I feel so much about this man. I've known him for a long time. I've been with him at Hako, and I can tell you, for sure, he have molded our life. We in security department, we had a language with him. a language that you cannot understand, you people. But we had a language with him. Whenever they could raise an issue, there was a way we could approach him. And for sure, I can tell you, no, not a single time he ever dismissed us. He could give us his ears. He could listen to us talking. And out of what we could have told him, he could act out of that. So I can say this man was listening to everyone. Irrespective of our status, he was listening to us. That's all I can say about him. And may God give him a good and an everlasting peace at his hands. God bless you all.
Thuo, that was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Mercy. Thank you, Isha. Robert, Marianne, Andrew, your children. The purpose of me bringing these people on stage is to show you the spirit of your father through different eyes, so that when you think about him, you will remember that and you will cherish that. For me, the lessons are two, and I'm going to go through them fairly quickly. As you can see, a lot of us have been with him, so you can see that he cares about people. He cares about his workers. The story that is out there, the story that is within the company may not be accessible to a lot of people, but he does care about us, and he's walked big journeys with us. Secondly, he believed that everybody is redeemable. He gave us chances and chances to learn, chances to grow, chances to develop, chances to understand what was expected of us. So when you hear people saying, I have worked for 38 years with him, it's not that they were perfect or that he was perfect. It is just that they were able to all accommodate each other. And he used to tell me that if an employee fails in his job, it is because we have not provided adequate leadership. So that's the sort of person he was. He believed in people. He believed in giving them second chances. And And thirdly, he knew what makes people tick. He knew when to reprimand. He knew when to draw back. He knew when to offer laughter. He knew when to, praise you in front of people. That was our chairman. This is an ability that very few people have, let alone a lot of leaders, how to create a balance with your people in a working relationship. He was adept at that, and that is why we have served him for as long as we have. We, again, want to offer our deepest condolences to you as a family. We shall be here with you. We shall help you in whatever way you need us to, and I'm sure we will go through this space together. Thank you all. God bless you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, International House, for your kind words, your tributes. And I think it's also shown us the kind of history, the kind of journey that our chairman was able to work with every one of us. And it didn't matter at what level, at what cadre. He was able to give guidance for us to be able to grow. We are only going to do one more company because of time. And I would like to ask Hako, which I must say I'm also proud of, because I worked there for quite some time, to please come and be able to give you tributes. And while I do that, I would like to ask you, even as Hako will be finishing, we still have quite some food at the sides. Please don't leave us with food. Take a bite of whatever has been offered. Thank you, Hako.
Good evening, all of you. My name is Steve Minor, and I'm here on behalf of Hako. So, to the family, to our boss, Marianne, our sincere condolences, and we pray to God that He'll give you strength at this time to be able to go through this. And also, as many people have said, it's a loss to many. It's a loss to many people. Chairman, as we called him, was a big umbrella. There were so many people under him. And I think for all of us, we'll keep praying that God will give us strength to be able to go through this journey. Now, what I'll do is that I'll invite a number of people actually 2 people from Hako to come and say something about chairman. And as you know, Hako was among his older babies, if I may call them that. And I can't forget to mention that within Hako, there was a daughter called Bick, and he married her off in 2018. But there's a representative here from Bick who will also come and speak and just say something about who chairman was and what he meant to them. At the end, I'll also read a couple of tributes that we have received as a company, just honoring who chairman was. So before I start, I'll ask Hako people, wherever you are, just stand up and wave. That is the Hako team. So at this juncture, I'll invite Peter Ndisho to come and say a word or two. Peter Ndisho is our manufacturing director, and chairman was very keen on innovation. One of the things he dreamed about Hako is innovate, come up with as many products as possible. And as you know, when he married off his daughter called Bick, Hako needed to really innovate and produce a lot of products. And Ndisho is a man who spearheaded that, and so he spent a lot of time with the chairman. So Ndisho, welcome. And just something.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Peter Ndisho, and I'm glad to be here, being given this opportunity to come and celebrate our great man, Dr. Chris Kirubi, our chairman. I'm happy to be here because our chairman, we worked with him very closely, as our FD has said. I came to know our chairman 12 years ago, 9 straight years. Then I left Hako, and I went to some other companies, and then I came back later on. So I'll start by saying that when I left Hako, Dr. Chris Kirubi called me to his office at the International House, and he told me, Peter, I'll not let you go. But I told him, Chairman, with all due respect, I've already signed my appointment letter with the other company, so please let me go. And he told me no. That was on 20th December 2015. He told me, you come on 23rd and we talk. So I came back, and he told me, when you are coming back, please come with the appointment letter, and I'll offer you what you like. So when I came back, I told him, Chairman, let me go. We are not doing soaps currently, so let me go, and I might come with some ideas on how to do some products that we are not doing. By then, I was the head of research and development. So when I mentioned that to chairman, he told me, okay, Peter, I think that is brilliant of you. You go, and after a year, I'm expecting you back. So I left Hako, and I went to PZ Customs, and later on, I joined Movit in Uganda. So in 2016, I received a call one of the Sundays evening, and I saw it was chairman, and he told me, Peter, where have you been? And I told him I'm at Movit in Uganda. So he told me, what are you doing in Uganda? Can you come back? And he told Anthony Mburu, who was with him then, to organize, and I come to see him the following day. I told him, Chairman, no, let me come on Wednesday so that I also do some leaves and all that. So when I came on Wednesday, I met him here in his house, and we had a good chat, and he told me, umekuwa wapi wewe mtoro? We agreed 1 year. So he had a very sharp memory, and he could remember what we had agreed. And by then, those were 3 years. So he told me, you come, what are you doing in Uganda? I told him, I'm working with Movit, and he told me, come back. And I don't want you to have another family in Uganda, so you come back. So I came back, and we started working with him. So he's a very caring chairman. He was a very caring chairman. So I came back, and we have been working very closely with him. So most of the products that Hako does, most of them, like the lotions that we are having currently, one of our biggest brand, Amara, is a brain from our chairman. The very many ideas, great ideas. He is not a trained chemical engineer like ourselves, but he could challenge ourselves and tell me, Peter, why are we doing it this way? Why not this other way? So he was a very smart guy. So we used to sit with him, and we do some sniff tests on our fragrance, our final product fragrance. And like Amara Man, he's the one who came up with that idea of having a designer perfume put into the finished product. So, and that is our best selling lotion. He was very smart because anything that he used to tell us came out to be resonating very well with the end consumers. So he was a great man. And I remember him as a very hard-working man, because even when he was ill, he used to call me each and every week and ask me, Peter, how are things? How are product performing? What is in the kitchen? What else can we do? He used to call me nearly each and every week and come to his house here. And we used to sit, discuss, and come up with very good ideas on our product development. So he's a man of great wisdom, a man of great knowledge, and he was not a man of procrastination, because he used to ask me, Peter, how far are we on this project? And I tell him, let me discuss with my marketing colleague. And he said, no. He pulled out his phone and calls our head of marketing, Mihaki there, and tell her, can you come with Peter tomorrow? So he was a go-getter person. And that has trained me also, that we don't procrastinate on things. We have to finalize and push projects to its conclusion. The other thing that I've learned from chairman is he was very hardworking. Even though he was ill, he used to call and even ask, how far are we? Have we serviced these other orders? Have we serviced these other orders? And he knew I was in manufacturing, but he used to ask me even sales questions. So, and I used to tell him, Chairman, give me 10 minutes, I'll get back to you. So he was very hardworking. Even despite his ill health, he was very, very hardworking, and I've learned that from him. Because of time, let me stop at this, but what I'll tell our MD, Marianne, Robert, and Andrew, that there's somebody who said that there are those people who do the maps, who draw the maps, but there are those other people who follow the maps. So our chairman has already done the map. So for us to keep up his legacy, let's walk the talk, his talk, and I know we'll be able to do what he wanted us to do. So what I'll say as my parting shot is for the loved ones, they are never gone, because they live within our hearts. So let's keep up the chairman's legacy, and I know we shall do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ndishu, for that tribute that you've just given. As you know, Hako is a manufacturing company, and the largest complement of people we have are in the factory. And the chairman loved the factory. He loved to drive out there, come in and see what is happening, and just enjoy himself in seeing what is being produced. So at this juncture, I'll invite my colleague from who works in the factory. His name is Daniel Onyango. Daniel, are you there? Yeah, so come over, Daniel. So I'll invite Daniel to just say a couple of words, just how he interacted with chairman, and just a couple of things that he feels he needs to share. Welcome.
Steve. Good evening, everyone. My name is Daniel Onyango, and I'm here to convey our condolences as the Hako family for what has happened. So I'll be very brief. I think as young as I may look, I joined Hako Industries Kenya Limited in May 1999. So for those who are good in mathematics, I've been in working relationship with Dr. Chris for the last 22 years and 1 month. So probably I have something to talk about Dr. Chris. Excuse me, we used to refer him as Daddy as well, while at Hako. In Hako, we are a family, Hako family. As you all may be aware, Dr. Chris or Daddy had quite a number of companies, but I do believe that Hako Industries Kenya Limited was next to Dr. Kirubi's heart. I'm confident when I'm saying this. Dr. Chris had his people at heart. He was a great man. He was really a great man, Daddy Wetu. So when I talk about Dr. Chris, I will take my brief time on sharing what Daddy liked and what he disliked and what passion he had. Daddy believed in empowering people, touching lives, and transforming lives. I remember sometimes back in 2006 when he came over for a visit. As you all know, when Dad is away, even at home, when he comes back, everybody runs to him to say what has been transpiring while he was away. So there was a scenario whereby a department within the factory had some grievances. So when they heard that Daddy's around, they boiled up. We want to talk to Daddy. Then Daddy said, please call them in so that I can know exactly what they're going through. So when we assembled together, he called out, what's the issue? Then it was like making a lot of demand. Because like you know, a small boy, when Daddy is there and now gives you full authority to say, what has Mom done to you while I was away? He even says that some of the things that were not even there. So Daddy got to get to understand exactly what his people were going through. And some were critical demands. So after hearing everything, I remember Daddy asked, because the department that had the many issues was basically big assembling line, which used to be manual over the years, manual assembling. And this manual assembling department employed more than 300 people, and they were doing manual assembling. So after Daddy got all these demands, he asked, I have the capacity to automate all this line so that I can operate with 20 operators. And when I do this, what would your families feed on? Nobody answered. And when I do this, how will your kids go to school? Nobody answered. Daddy shed tears. He shed tears. I witnessed personally. So that made me know that Daddy had a heart for people. He had a heart for people. What Daddy likes a hard-working person. Daddy likes an innovative thinking, like Peter said. When you are innovative thinker, you are hard-working person, you are very close friends. Definitely. Daddy do not like dishonest people and lazy people. When you are lazy and dishonest, you have to go the opposite direction. If you are hardworking, you are honest, no issue with Daddy. So today, on behalf of my fellow workmates, we celebrate a life well lived by our dad, Dr. Chris Kirubi. I can attest that Dr. Chris never discriminates, never hate. I'm a testimony because I've been working or relating with the Dr. Chris Kirubi for the last 22 years and 1 month. And I have said earlier, my names are Daniel Onyango. So I would attest that when you are honest, you are hardworking, you know how to handle Dr. Chris Kirubi, then you can never clash. You can never clash. He used to encourage people to work hard, and work hard. And I learned a saying from Dr. Chris that success is a matter of believing in the power of your ideas. Success is achieved when you believe in the power of your ideas. Now, finally, I think my colleagues have said much about Chris, but now there is a question. We had Daddy as our team leader, as our father. But now it comes a time when some people say, I was working with Daddy, he's no more. Where is the future? Do I have the future? I was asked the same question by many people. Now Daddy is gone, Chris is gone. So how are you certain about your future? Because many people believe when the owner of the company or the chairman has gone, there is less future in that company. I have to convey our confidence as Hako family. And we thank God for Madam Mary Ann. Sometimes they refer her to as Nina Ito. So I want to stand here to say that Hako family is very confident because Daddy has nurtured a family that knows how to work hard. Daddy has brought up a team leader who has really fitted in his shoes. So as Hako family, Hako team, we are confident. We celebrate the well-lived life of Daddy, but we are very confident that we are forging ahead even more stronger with Nina Ito. So, Madam, we thank you so much, and we are happy for what you have done to us. It's barely 3 years, but you have restored hope in the Hako family. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Daniel, and for those words. Thank you very much for those words, but it's Nina Wito. Nina Wito. Okay. So the next person I will call up to say a few words is the General Manager for BIC East Africa, and that Mr. Michael Sinclair. As I mentioned, BIC was one of the biggest brands within the Hako portfolio, and in 2018, BIC came over BIC came and took over that business. So they are still part of our family. We still share the same compound, and it was just fitting that we get one of their representatives offered to come and say a few words. Welcome, Michael.
Good evening, family, and good evening, everybody else that's here this evening. I think, as Steve introduced me, my name is Michael Sinclair. I'm the General Manager of BIC East Africa. I think, not like Steve mentioned, I don't think I fit the profile of that wife that was married off, but I guess that's all part of it. It seems like I'm the last person speaking this evening, and I just want to elaborate and just say I'm in absolute awe of the stories and the connections that people have had with Dr. Chris Kirubi. The nature of his connections that he's had with people and the way that they've related to him. I'm not only then in awe of those reactions, but more in awe of Mr. Kirubi himself and the way he was. I am going to just, I have prepared something, so I just want to read a few things, if I may, just to get the message. So please grant me the liberty of that, and I'll go through. This evening or today, I stand in front of you, and it is a sad moment, but it somehow feels impossible to offer a eulogy that would match the life of Dr. Chris Kirubi. From my experience, his enigmatic personality, his strong work ethic, and his business acumen were only amplified by his care and his compassion for people. Over the past few days, it became clear to me how much of an impact he has made on people's lives. Whether it was a perchance meeting or a business-related encounter, and in many of those cases, they changed people's lives. He touched their ambition, and he led them to greater personal growth. And once again, that shows this evening as well. It is often said that we are defined by the impact we make on others, and although Dr. Kirubi had a long list of personal accolades, it is the way he positively impacted people's lives that truly defined who he was. Dr. Kirubi's relentless spirit drove him to lead numerous initiatives that aimed to empower the youth in Africa and encourage them to pursue careers, preparing them for and of course the African continent for a better tomorrow. Dr. Kirubi has significantly contributed to the growth of Kenyan economy through his business endeavors and strategic partnerships touching several sectors and many industries. Today, the world suffers a significant loss of a great man and an unrivaled leader. We, as BIC, we offer our condolences to his family, we offer condolences to his colleagues, and we offer condolences to the friends and the people whose lives he has touched. Although the last few days were challenging for him, he battled cancer with a grace and courage, living up to the values and the attitude he exemplified in his 80 years. As long-term partners, we as BIC recognize our success in East Africa is a result of Dr. Kirubi's dedication to our business, his commitment to his communities, and his remarkable work ethic. Although he is a son of Kenya, Dr. Kirubi made an impact right throughout the world, and his impact was certainly felt and appreciated within the global family of BIC. We are truly saddened by the loss of a business icon, and I can guarantee that we will continue his legacy, and we will do this by honoring his commitment towards businesses and communities, and aim for a prosperous future and a greater tomorrow. Thank you very much, and thanks for the family.
Thank you very much, Michael, for those words, and do convey to BIC our sincere gratitude for the words that you passed on. So what I will now do is that I'll read a few tributes. I'll read three tributes that have come from our customers. And as you know, Dr. Kirubi was a very people person, and he was very concerned in terms of sales and the market and so forth. And I will start with a partner who we last did business in 2018. That was our distributor in Ethiopia. Ethiopia was one of the large markets that we used to sell big pens. And I'll read out what he has written. The company is called Alsam, and this is written by Mr. Sabir Ago, who is the managing director. To the family of Dr. Chris Kirubi and the entire Hako family, allow me to offer my condolences to the family of Dr. Chris Kirubi and the entire staff of Hako for the passing of Dr. Chris Kirubi. From my years of doing business with Hako, I know he was not only our trusted business partner, but he was also a friend. As long as I've been associated with your company, I've never failed to sense the dedication and the hard work contributed by Dr. Chris. He always instilled confidence in Hako's services. His absence will create a great gap as we continue without him. And I'm sure the company will feel the effects of his passing for a long time. As Hako carry on with the business he created, however, I'm sure Hako will continue to succeed. And in Hako's success, you'll be honoring Dr. Chris. He was always known for working to build the company, never to gain personal glory. Many on my staff have worked with him on various assignments, and I've never heard a negative word about him. So I'm speaking on behalf of everyone in my office when I say that Dr. Chris will be sorely missed. I'm certain I'm expressing the thoughts of many in the Alsam business community as well. Please extend my condolences to the family and to the rest of the Hako family. May God be with you all in your time of grieving and as you adjust to this great loss. Sincerely, Sabir Ago, Managing Director. The next tribute I will read is from our Uganda distributor. Now, the company is called African Queen. Now, African Queen was started by a lady called Sophie Nantongo, and they've worked with us for many, many years. So this is a tribute from Sophie of African Queen Uganda. Chris Kirubi was a forward-thinking industrialist with an eye for opportunity, but even more importantly, with a heart for people. In 1993, as a young girl, still trying to figure out where this life in business would take me, I entered the doors of Hako Industries in Nairobi. From then, Chris Kirubi took me under his wing as his daughter, mentoring, supporting, and encouraging me to grow myself and my small venture. He gave me an opportunity to change my life and that of my whole family. 28 years later, we continue to work together, and the small one-person business he supported has turned into a business that supports over 2,000 people. Chris helped plant the seed that would become African Queen, and for that, I am forever grateful. Chairman, you changed the lives of so many and helped us know and believe that there was a space in this little corner of the world of ours to think big and to act bold. Your lessons to us, grit and compassion, will never be forgotten. May your soul rest in eternal peace. your Ugandan daughter, Sophie Nantongo. The third tribute I'll read is from Majid Al-Futtaim. That's a company that runs the Carrefour brand of supermarkets. And this is written by their country manager for East Africa, Mr. Frank Moreau. So this is to, and I'll read. Dear Marianne, this is a condolence message on the death of Dr. Christopher Kirubi, EBS. On behalf of Majid Al-Futtaim, Retail Kenya, and on my own behalf, allow me to offer my heartfelt condolences to you and your family for the sudden passing of your father, Dr. Christopher J. Kirubi, EBS. For us at Majid Al-Futtaim Retail, we do not only recognize your father as a successful businessman, but also as a thorough gentleman and an instrumental business partner who was always there to support Carrefour Kenya when we were setting up our operations. I've had the honor of meeting him personally several times and have always learned something inspiring every time. We pay our respects to Dr. Kirubi for his contribution to the betterment of the lives of many Kenyans, particularly through the creation of businesses which employ thousands of people and play a major role in the economic development of the country. We will remain enriched and continue to draw inspiration from his legacy as a recognized and respected businessman. Our thoughts and prayers are with you and the family. We hope that you'll be able to find peace and comfort during this difficult time. May his soul rest in peace. Yours faithfully, Frank Moreau, Country Manager, East Africa. So with that, as many of the people who have spoken here, and especially my colleagues, I did not have a long opportunity to work with Dr. Kirubi. I joined Hako in 2018. But there are two things I will say about Dr. Kirubi. One is that I interacted with him before I joined Hako. And at the time, one of his companies was trying to market a product to the company I worked for then. And after we had had discussions with the team, the management team then, we had a deadlock. We just could not accept the terms that they were offering to us. And so when the meeting ended, the managing director of the company called me and told me that she's coming with her chairman. And that was Dr. Kirubi. And so, as you can imagine, I was quite intimidated in terms of, surely this is such a small transaction. Why do you want to come and meet us? So we assembled a team and met with him in the boardroom. And we spent 4 hours. 4 hours he went through and through. I think by the time the meeting ended and we conceded to the terms he wanted, I think it was partly out of fatigue and just the need to just get on with it. So one of the things I can say about him is that grit, that drive, and the passion to just get through with whatever it is that he was trying to do or trying to achieve. Then the second experience I want to share about him is when I joined Hako. And one of the things that came out so much in terms of when you interacted with him was just his insight. In terms of you'd have studied something and you think you presented all the angles around it, and then he just pulls out something and you think to yourself, how come I never thought about that? And to me, that was always so fascinating. And especially even as you discussed with him, you could just see that he just needed to glance at something and draw so much insight and knowledge out of it. I think to me that was so impressive, and it's something that I pray to God I'll be able to achieve in the fullness of time. Then there's one last thing I cannot forget. Anytime I interacted with him, as my colleagues mentioned, I'm the head of finance at Hako, he always told me two things. Don't lose money, and I'm not a bank. Don't ask me for money. So I think we'll honor him, and we'll continue to man the shop. And Chairman, rest in peace.
Thank you very much to both International House and Hako for your tributes. And as we come to the conclusion, because there's nobody else who's going to come here today. I think I would like to say thank you very much. I would like to express our gratitude for your patience and your presence. The journey of grief is long, and this walk does not have to be taken alone. Your presence here today helps the family realize how valuable Dr. Chris Kirubi was to others. And that encourages the family, Marianne, Robert, and everybody else who's here with us. Now, the last two issues, I reiterate that there's food. Please, there's a lot of food. Don't leave it with us, because we won't know where to take it. So please, make sure you take a bite. And lastly, I'll just give you a heads up on what's going to go on Friday and Saturday. We have a service, a memorial service at FEM, or Faith Evangelical Ministries in Karen, on Friday at 11 o'clock. I would like to encourage whoever would like to participate to be there half an hour before the service starts. And on Saturday, when we finally inter chairman, again, we start at 11 at Bendo Farm in Thika. And again, would like to encourage you, for those who intend to attend, to be there half an hour before the whole ceremony starts. So I thank you again. I thank you very much. And I think from the words that we've heard today, we've heard of an icon who was bold. Chairman never saw a wall. Excuse me. Chairman never saw a wall. And most of us, in our interactions with him, have realized that we have to be bold. Because one thing I learned is that if you're bold, you are able to visualize, I think, something that if you're not able to visualize the goal that you're looking at, you'll never be able to actually go anywhere. And Chairman was always encouraging us and encouraging all of us to be able to do that. Then the final thing is that I think you can get more information. There's a lot of information that's shared on chriskirubi.com, a lot of information that is on what's actually going to go on until Saturday when we finalize. I thank you again this evening for your patience. I thank you for your kind words. I thank you most importantly for supporting us and working with us. And let us continue this journey so that the family can be able to get the strength to continue with the legacy, the huge, huge legacy that Chairman has left with us. Thank you very much. Have some food and let's have a good night. And those who can be able to come tomorrow, please, you're welcome. Asanteni sana.